Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star 2, Land of Origin based on novel. So let's start. Occupy the Sha Kingdom. Luo Feng revealed a smile. I indeed have such a plan. Upon hearing this, the Yushui country master immediately chuckled, ha ha. Luo He, when you were at the first realm of Godly King, you were already undaunted by the Emperor of Tian Kuan. Now that you've reached the second realm of Godly King, in terms of the multitude of methods at your disposal, you are even above the Emperor of Tian Kuan. If you occupy the Sha Kingdom, I believe other powerhouses won't dare to compete. A territory of a second-rate country, the mere display of a portion of Luo Feng's power qualified him to take it over. Don't rush. Luo Feng responded, the three sovereigns of the Sha Kingdom have just died. If I immediately occupy the Sha Kingdom, I fear it may draw the attention of that black-robed, golden-masked powerhouse. Once he is displeased, that would be trouble. Right, that mysterious powerhouse who single-handedly killed the three sovereigns of the Sha Kingdom must have had a vendetta with the three sovereigns of Sha Kingdom, Yushui country master said in agreement. Right now, various forces are also watching over the Sha Kingdom. Indeed, it is not suitable to make a move immediately. Let's wait for a day, said Luo Feng. We'll act after one day, which can be seen as a sign of respect to that mysterious powerhouse. A day. There might be unforeseen changes, Yushui country master said worriedly. Such a vast territory could attract other ancient godly kings to make a move. To occupy such a vast territory is not easy. Luo Feng was very patient. He was the one who had killed the three sovereigns of the Sha Kingdom. Having just killed, then to immediately take over the Sha Kingdom. That could increase the suspicion on himself. Luo Feng was not clear about the investigatory methods of the two grand ancient countries. According to previous intelligence, both ancient countries had strong abilities to investigate the past and to deduce the secrets of heaven, and they might already suspect him. Although Luo Feng was prepared for exposure, it would naturally be better if it happened later. The later the exposure, the deeper his preparations. The easier it would be to deal with danger. I have already exchanged for the special grade inheritance, world life form, and chaotic whole beast body in the second realm of Godly King. I must also properly comprehend it to increase my own accumulation. Luo Feng valued special grade inheritance highly. Upper class inheritances like 8 Tribulations life form and extermination of 72 blades was still too simple for him. Only some extremely difficult secret techniques from the special grade inheritance could better temper his comprehension. I also don't know if the two grand ancient countries will discover me. Luo Feng was sensing in all directions with the aid of Star Tower, feeling the countless disciples within the Blade River sect, sensing the innumerable populace within Huyang City. If only for relying on the 24 phase form world life, there will beyond God King level, and numerous avatars. Luo Feng would be more cautious in his actions. He might even exchange for a beyond God King level secret treasure from the infinite space to protect himself. Without Star Tower, he was barely on par with an emperor. Although he had the advantage of will, an emperor typically possessed more than one secret treasure beyond God King level. But with Star Tower, Luo Feng was calmly prepared even for exposure. The more he researched Star Tower, the clearer Luo Feng became on the dreadful might of Star Tower. Within the boundaries of Thunder Ancient Country, inside an ancient hall, 3 figures were seated separately. I invited you two here today, because there is a favor I need to ask, a huge figure with silver-white fur said while sitting there. Silver Moon God King, you have something to ask of us. The other 2 figures were somewhat surprised. The figure with silver fur had a profound look in his eyes and said indifferently, as you both know, just now, the 3 sovereigns of the Sha Kingdom died. That black-robed, golden-masked powerhouse is extremely terrifying. Any monarch below would probably be powerless against him, the two powerhouses also understood the situation, knowing how formidable the murderer was. That powerhouse, his strength far exceeds ours, not someone we can provoke, the figure with the silver fur said, but the Sha kingdom is now without a master, and it is an opportune time to occupy. Silver Moon, are you going to leave Thunder Ancient Country? The two powerhouses were surprised. The Silver Moon God King, a guest elder God King of Thunder Ancient Country, had served for countless years. I have never completely joined Thunder Ancient Country, the figure with silver fur said. I have loyally served them for countless years, yet many troublesome tasks were assigned to me. My true body has been devoured by those madmen more than once. Thunder Ancient Country's half out of control monarch-level powerhouses numbered 3. When lucid, Thunder Ancient Country would let them roam. These monarchs needed minions when they were out, and the royal family god kings would hide, so the guest elder god kings had to obediently be minions. Silver Moon God King was strong enough and as a guest elder, had followed more than one half out of control monarch. When a monarch went mad, driven by the craving of the primordial bloodline, they would devour all living creatures in the vicinity. At the very least, Silver Moon God King was able to resist for a moment or two, enough time to revive back via a resurrection carrier. I've had enough. The figure with silver fur shook his head. I've decided to take over the territory of the Sha kingdom and live freely. No longer will I suffer in Thunder Ancient Country. I also invite both of you, my good friends, you are both adept with avatars. Each of you sends an avatar. I'll give each of you 10 Chaos Whole Prefectures. The two powerhouses looked at each other. Being adept at avatars was quite advantageous. Even the locations they could hold could be numerous. Okay. Fine, both agreed cheerfully. On one hand, they would each have 10 more Chaos Whole Prefectures, and on the other hand, they were willing to befriend Silver Moon God King. Silver Moon God King had on numerous occasions served the half-out-of-control monarchs, which indirectly proved his strength. In direct combat, he was on par with the Emperor of Tien Kuan, but regarding life force, he was considerably stronger than the Emperor of Tien Kuan. When do we act? The two powerhouses looked at Silver Moon God King. As soon as dawn breaks, we'll move. Silver Moon God King looked outside. Surviving this night can also be seen as a sign of respect to that mysterious powerhouse. With the death of the 3 sovereigns of Sha Kingdom, Kufan God King was scared into a frantic escape, while Liu God King couldn't escape in time due to her weak strength. None of the major forces in the land of origin cared for her. Sha Kingdom temporarily lacked a ruler. Sha Kingdom, now boasting a whole 135 primal chaos prefectures, was considered quite sizable even among second-tier kingdoms, naturally attracting numerous overlord-level beings. Asterisk 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 asterisk. As night passed, dawn began to break. Panic spread throughout the Eta King's capital, where the cultivators were well informed of news. Knowing about the death of the 3 kings, they were naturally concerned that a great struggle would ensue. A clash at the godly king level, even a mere ripple of it, would turn them to dust. At this moment, they could only feel uneasy and anxious, waiting apprehensively. Some cultivators had even temporarily left the royal capital. Whoosh! A massive figure appeared above the royal capital. It was covered in silvery white fur, and its size was comparable to the true body of the Emperor of Tien Kuan. Its fluffy tail seemed to extend to the very end of the world. Its eyes were many times larger than the entire royal capital. From this moment on, Sha Kingdom shall be renamed Silver Moon Country. I, Silver Moon God King, along with Sea Demon God King and Qianyi God King, will rule the entire Silver Moon Country together. This silvery figure's voice boomed, echoing throughout the entire territory of Sha Kingdom. Behind the figure of silvery fur stood 2 other figures. One was a figure condensed from endless water flows, and the other a vast ethereal figure. It took the Emperor of Tien Kuan long years to claim such a vast territory. The Silver Moon Wolf King wanted to pick the ripe fruits, but worried he wouldn't be intimidating enough on his own. Hence, he brought along the Sea Demon God King and Tianyi God King, who had avatars. Their joint forces naturally commanded a much greater deterrent power. Ha ha ha, Silver Moon God King, a mere guest elder from Thunder Ancient Country, crossing over half the land of origin to conquer Sha Kingdom. A laughter sounded. Two figures emerged from the void. Silver Moon God King, Sea Demon God King, and Tianyi God King looked over. "I, Cold Forest Country, am adjacent to Sha Kingdom," said a towering bald figure coldly. "Sha Kingdom should belong to Cold Forest Country." Cold Forest Country Lord. The three God Kings, Silver Moon God King, Sea Demon God King, and Tianyi God King, didn't take much notice of the Cold Forest Country Lord, whose strength was relatively mediocre within the second realm of Godly King. The only thing he had to brag about was that he and the Emperor of Tianmu Kingdom, the Purplewood Godly King, were close friends. "I've already discussed this matter with Tianmu Kingdom, and they agree," the bald figure stated. "You three, leave quickly." Next to the bald figure was a man in black scale armor, expressionless, but his presence was apprehensively noted by all three, Silver Moon Wolf King included. One of the 6 great venerables of the Destruction Army, Dark Sky Venerable, they naturally recognized. The strongest force in Tianmu Kingdom was that pinnacle sector beast. That sector beast gave birth to a vast Destruction Army. The Destruction Army's strength ranged from high to low, with the highest being the 6 great venerables. Each venerable's strength could rival that of Emperor Gui Shu and Wuxin God King. 6 venerables, 18 generals, 36 leaders. All were Godly King tier fighters within the Destruction Army. Even the weakest of the army leaders was considered at the limit of the first realm of Godly King. "So what if it's Dark Sky Venerable?" Silver Moon God King sneered. "If all 6 venerables from your Destruction Army came at once, I'd turn tail and leave immediately. But just you alone." HMPH. He had served half-outraged monarchs. So why would he fear a single venerable from the Destruction Army? "Cold Forest Country Lord, you're overextending your strength by trying to claim Sha Kingdom. It will backfire on you," added Sea Demon God King. Luo Feng had originally planned to wait a day before taking action, but who would have thought that as soon as dawn broke, some powerful beings couldn't wait any longer. Silver Moon God King has taken action with Sea Demon God King and Tianyi God King, and the Cold Forest Country Lord has brought out Dark Sky Venerable from the Destruction Army of Tianmu Kingdom. Luo Feng nodded slightly. "They have all made their move, so it's only right that I do so too." Whoosh! 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 In an instant, 5 silver-clothed Luo Fengs moved at once. Each silver-clothed Luo Feng contained roughly 1% of the World Life Bodestrubadi's energy reserve. This also equated to about 30% of the perfect divine body's energy reserve. It was already terrifyingly powerful. If Luo Feng had the will at the ultimate realm of a god king, even with an expansive soul foundation, controlling these 5 avatars, each could only exert 50 to 60% of their strength. But with will beyond god king level, Luo Feng could easily manage his true body. Each of these 5 avatars could envelop a territory range of 50 to 60 primal chaos prefectures, with their inner world at the center. Yet, with the Life Lotus, the World Life Body's true body could cover around 300 primal chaos prefectures. At this moment, with just a thought, the power of the world was already spreading throughout Sha Kingdom. Rumble tilde 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 tilde. The entire region of Sha Kingdom was engulfed. The terrifying power of the world spread everywhere, suppressing all directions, naturally including the Silver Moon God King, Sea Demon God King, Tianyi God King, as well as the Cold Forest Country Lord and Dark Sky Venerable of the Destruction Army. All five felt the immense oppressive force bearing down on them, and their expressions changed slightly. I am Luo He. Within the range engulfed by the power of the world, all creatures felt a shiver. A grandiose voice echoed through every city and wilderness. From this moment on, Sha Kingdom falls under the Blade River sect's rule. Do any of you five have an objection? 5 silver-clothed Luo Fengs appeared above the Eta King's capital, looking down at the 5 Second Realm God Kings below. Luo He is so domineering. Silver Moon Godly King, Sea Demon Godly King, Tianyi Godly King, Cold Forest Country Lord, and Dark Sky Venerable were all somewhat dumbfounded. They were all in the Second Realm of Godly King, and there was even a Venerable from the Destruction Army among them. Luo He Godly King didn't take them seriously at all, intending to completely monopolize the entire territory of Sha Kingdom, and even asked them if they had any objections. Luo He, you are being too domineering. Cold Forest Country Lord rebuked angrily. He was a close friend of the Purple Wood Godly King from Tianmu Kingdom, and most forces on the land of origin had to show him some respect. Dark Sky Venerable looked on with a cold gaze, merely observing Luo Feng. Luo He Godly King, we 5 are here, and yet you want to monopolize the entirety of Sha Kingdom. Isn't that too much? Silver Moon Godly King spoke. I think we can discuss this properly and divide Sha Kingdom among us, each of us taking a part. Silver Moon Godly King had realized that the situation was turning unfavorable. Dark Sky Venerable was already immensely strong and represented the Destruction Army. Luo He had just become a godly king, and could contend with the Emperor of Tien Kuan. Now, he was in the Second Realm of Godly King, and his strength was unpredictable. Silver Moon Godly King no longer harbored hopes of monopolizing Sha Kingdom alone. Cold Forest Country and Blade River Sect are neighbors of Sha Kingdom, each having only one in the Second Realm of Godly King. The 30 Primal Chaos Prefectures adjacent to you belong to you, Silver Moon Godly King proposed. The remaining Primal Chaos Prefectures belong to the 3 of us in the Second Realm. How about that? 135 Primal Chaos Prefectures, and Luo He and I each get 30, but you want to take 75. Cold Forest Country Lord laughed bitterly. Silver Moon, aren't your hopes too high? We 3 godly kings in the Second Realm, averaging 20 to 30 Primal Chaos Prefectures each. It's not too much, Silver Moon Godly King reasoned. Cold Forest Country is a second-rate country as is. Gaining some Primal Chaos Prefectures this time is already tremendous. Tianyi Godly King frowned as he spoke. I want at least 50 Primal Chaos Prefectures, said Cold Forest Country Lord. At the level of the Second Realm of Godly King, when they couldn't overpower each other, negotiations usually decided the division of interests. Gentlemen. 5 silver-clothed Luo Fengs stood in the distance, looking at them. I made myself clear. The entire territory of Sha Kingdom belongs to Blade River Sect. There's no room for negotiation. Silver Moon Godly King and Cold Forest Country Lord, who had already begun negotiating, were shocked and turned towards Luo Feng. If you disagree, old rules apply, strength will decide, Luo Feng said, looking at them. You can invite as many friends as you like. For every friend you invite, I'll send an avatar. 1-on-1 guaranteed. Arrogant. That Luo He. Silver Moon Godly King and Cold Forest Country Lord were each furious. This Luo He was too excessive, aiming to monopolize everything. Not even leaving them a drop of soup. Finally, I'll give you 10 breaths to consider. If you don't leave, I'll make my move, the 5 silver-clothed Luo Fengs said coldly, watching them. The confrontation within the territory of Sha Kingdom, gathering 6 godly kings in the Second Realm, naturally attracted attention from various forces across the land of origin. Cold Forest Country Lord is so mediocre, barely managing to protect his own country. And yet he dreams of occupying a part of Sha Kingdom. Emperor Chu watched from afar, Silver Moon pulling together 2 helpers, they think they can compete with my disciple. In terms of strength, deterrent power, and background, his disciple Luo Feng surpassed both Cold Forest Country Lord and Silver Moon Godly King. In Emperor Chu's view, for his disciple Luo Feng with his current strength, merely occupying the current 20 primal chaos prefectures was deemed too little. Occupying the territory of Shi Kingdom was just barely adequate for Luo Feng's capabilities. But this time, Luo He should reveal some of his strength, Emperor Chu said with a smile, watching. The last time he released Blade Light, he defeated an ordinary godly king in the second realm. It proves his high level. But that clearly wasn't all his strength. With his disciple advancing so fast, Emperor Chu wasn't entirely sure about how powerful his disciple truly was. Since Tian Kuan was killed, his neighbors and Silver Moon Godly King have started scheming to take over his domain. Di Yang also watched from a distance, unconcerned with the struggle over Shi Kingdom's territory. Di Yang cared more about tracking down the murderer who had killed Tian Kuan. The land of origin knows that Tian Kuan was following me. Di Yang's gaze was icy. The murderer didn't care about losing face with me and still killed Tian Kuan and the others. That murderer. With a wave of his hand, an image of a man in a black robe and a golden mask appeared before Di Yang, the man's presence profound, also mixed with great terror. Who exactly are you? Di Yang's brow furrowed. Just from seeing this image, Di Yang instinctively felt a significant threat. In Wind City, the Shadow Sky Realm, the Earth God King, Fire Ancestor, Zhongfu, none of them have posed such a threat to me, Di Yang observed. You're well hidden, but as long as you care about resources, acting repeatedly will ultimately expose you. Di Yang continued to watch the battle. This Luo He has high potential. If left uncontrolled, he might become another Zhongfu. Di Yang watched. It's a pity, Emperor Chu is protecting him, and it seems Di Fu also highly regards Luo He. Di Fu had even assigned Luo Feng to garrison the Heavenly Pillar Realm, clearly indicating his stance. As a member of the imperial clan, yet favoring independent cultivators. Di Yang bore hostility toward all independent cultivators, but alas, even if he were in the position of the ancestors of two countries, favoring independent cultivators, he couldn't change it. One by one, powerhouses on the land of origin, including those on good terms with Luo Feng like the Wind City Empress, Emperor Gui Shu, Wuxing Godly King, and Yushui Country Master, were watching the battle, as were Di Chuing and Emperor Chuyu, who were using the recorded images from Flame Wind Pavilion to watch this confrontation. I wonder how much strength my disciple will reveal this time, said mountain-sitting guest in Thunder Ancient Country, also watching the battle through images recorded by Thunderclap Commerce. Asterisk 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 asterisk. At this moment, in the high-altitude area around the capital city of Shi Kingdom, invisible fluctuations were already clashing. The power of the world suppressed the surroundings, and forces of destruction, icy chills, and surging waters all resisted. The three godly kings in the second realm, and Cold Forest Country Lord and Dark Sky Venerable were all ready to engage. It wasn't possible that a few words from Luo Feng would make them slink away. Luo He, it's better for all of us if we divide Shi Kingdom together. Silver Moon Godly King continued to speak. 10 breaths are up. All 5 silver-clothed Luo Fengs extended their hands, and a blade light appeared in each palm. This blade light. At first glance, it was pitch black with edges that shimmered in azure blue. Chaos whole undying light. It was nurtured within Luo his inner world. The stronger the inner world, the more blade light it could accumulate, and the chaos whole undying light could be refined to higher levels. After reaching the 24-phase form world life form, the inner worlds of the 5 avatars had become much stronger. Although they weren't as potent as the true body, they all possessed some traits of an ultimate realm life form. With such inner worlds, the might of the chaos whole undying light could be well imagined. The Silver Moon Godly King, along with the three others, Cold Forest Country Lord, and Dark Sky Venerable, felt their hearts pound instinctively at the sight of the 5 pitch-black blade lights in the palms of Luo his 5 avatars. Go! 5 silver-clothed Luo has released the blade lights simultaneously. Shoo 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 shoo. The moment the 5 pitch-black blade lights were released, they immediately reached the 5-second realm Godly Kings. Too fast, impossible to dodge. Puh. In a split second, the Cold Forest Country Lord was bisected from his waist, a look of terror in his eyes. The blade light had swelled enormously, and with the first strike, it immediately obliterated a significant portion of the Cold Forest Country Lord's divine power reserve. The blade light flashed again, continuing to cut through. If it strikes 2 more times, won't I be utterly dead? Terrified, the Cold Forest Country Lord immediately abandoned his true body. His resurrection carrier, far within the borders of Tianmu Kingdom, had already awakened. Chaos Whole Undying Light. Its pursuit was to cut through all things. While it pursued the ultimate sharpness, it was somewhat inferior in terms of erosion and obliteration. Usually, it relied on the blade light slicing multiple times, eroding repeatedly, to completely obliterate a body. This was Luo his kindness. Chaos Whole Undying Light, cutting over and over again, giving the enemy enough time to resurrect through their resurrection carrier. If it were a technique like Great Extinction style, with its overwhelming destructive erosion, a weaker second realm Godly King might be obliterated in one move, without even a chance for rebirth. After all, it was just a struggle for territories. There was no need to be too harsh. Moreover, Luo he hadn't planned on revealing the Great Extinction style yet. With his formidable stature, ordinary techniques were sufficient. Like Chaos Whole Undying Light, it was also an integration technique of the 5 major branches, strong enough. Puh. The Sea Demon Godly King, whose body was comprised of endless water flows, was sliced by a huge blade light, and a portion of his water flow divine power was instantly annihilated. This frightened the Sea Demon Godly King. Just one hit, and 2/10 of the divine power in this avatar has been destroyed. The Sea Demon Godly King was shocked, although it was just one of his ordinary avatars. Luo he had also merely sent an avatar. Both were second realm Godly Kings, both using avatars, yet the disparity was so vast. Puh. This swath of blade light, condensed from endless blade lights, inherently had a terrifying energy reserve and self-recovery ability. It moved extremely quickly, continuously slaying. How terrifying is this blade light? In the blink of an eye, this body of the Sea Demon Godly King was completely obliterated. Silver Moon, Luo he is too strong. Let's withdraw. The true body of Sea Demon Godly King, far away, sent a causation transmission. Puh. The body of the Tianyi Godly King flickered ethereally, and in the moment he was hit, he escaped trillions of kilometers away. But the pursuing blade light flashed, and had already caught up, sweeping across his ethereal body again. Ha ha ha. The ethereal body of Tianyi Godly King flickered repeatedly, eerily elusive. But the swath of blade light completely locked on him, persistently pursuing and attacking. Silver Moon, let's withdraw. This Luo he is too frightening, Tianyi Godly King transmitted before saying, I'm running first. Huh. Subsequently, the avatar of Tianyi Godly King, having already lost over half of its divine power reserve, vanished in a flash, completely leaving the vast surrounding territory. Luo his Chaos Whole Undying Light could no longer find the target. Tianyi Godly King traversed the origin Tao of the infinite. If truly fleeing long distances, Chaos Whole Undying Light couldn't lock on. Within the range covered by the power of Luo his world, that was the actionable range for the Chaos Whole Undying Light. Brother Sea Demon's avatar is destroyed, Qianyi's avatar escaped. Silver Moon Godly King was in his true body, his massive true body contending against the terrifying blade light before him. This swath of blade light cut everything. Again and again, it left massive wounds on Silver Moon's body, eroding and damaging the body of the Silver Moon Godly King. But the wounds on Silver Moon Godly King also healed rapidly. This blade light. Dark Sky Venerable stood there, the blade light striking his body's black scale armor, merely causing 1 or 2 black scales to shatter, but they healed in an instant. Dark clouds rose around the Dark Sky Venerable, attempting to entangle the blade light. But the blade light, much faster than the movement of the Godly Kings, rapidly and unpredictably sliced through the body of the Dark Sky Venerable, each time a few scales shattering then rapidly healing. Now, only you two are left. 5 silver-clothed Luo Hes looked at Dark Sky Venerable and Silver Moon Godly King. Luo he also sensed the difference in strength. Dark Sky Venerable was indeed the most terrifying existence in the Destruction Army. His own Chaos Whole Undying Light was merely tickling him. Silver Moon Godly King's strength was mediocre, unable to withstand his Chaos Whole Undying Light, but his body's life force was exceedingly tenacious. Go. Luo he waved his hand. 5 pitch-black blade lights simultaneously assaulted Silver Moon Godly King. 5 attacking me. Silver Moon Godly King's expression changed. He couldn't even block one swift, elusive blade light, only able to withstand it forcefully. 5 blade lights ganging up. This Luo he is not easy to mess with. Silver Moon Godly King clenched his teeth, instantly turning into a streak of light diving into the void, even though he was instantly hit by dozens of strikes from the 5 blade lights' collaborative attack, scattering hair and blood into the sky. Yet, Silver Moon Wolf King still forcefully escaped. He didn't want the territory of the Eater King anymore. With Luo he Godly King as a neighbor, he couldn't defend his territory. Dark Sky Venerable, only you are left now. The 5 silver-clothed Luo Hes, watching the Silver Moon Godly King, smiled faintly. All 5 blade lights returned, being absorbed back into their inner worlds. Episode 112. Huyang City, Morosa also looked toward the direction of the Eater King's capital from afar. Something's amiss. The life of the Dark Sky Venerable doesn't quite align with the direction of nurturing an inner world. As a God King's second realm beast, Morosa had a certain perception of the abilities possessed by the Pinnacle Sector beast, and could even nurture an army right now. However, he refrained from doing so only to conceal his identity. Therefore, as he observed the figure of the Dark Sky Venerable, Morosa sensed something was wrong and immediately used telepathy to contact Luo Feng, Master. A Pinnacle Sector beast can nurture a powerful destruction army, which should be able to produce warriors stronger than itself. Sector beasts are very balanced in all aspects. Destruction army leans more towards combat, Morosa transmitted telepathically. An army nurtured by a Pinnacle Sector beast must first have a commander, who could be called the Destruction Emperor, governed by 18 generals and 36 leaders. The Destruction Emperor is the most perfect ultimate realm warrior. Inferior to sector beasts in terms of survival, but stronger in combat. I feel that the life of the Dark Sky Venerable is incomplete. The fusion of 6 Venerables should be the Destruction Emperor, Morosa transmitted. As a part of the Destruction Emperor, the life form should be immensely strong. Master, you must be careful. Luo Feng heard Morosa's telepathic message. Good heavens! The sector beast of Qianmu Kingdom was too low profile, splitting the most terrifying leader of the destruction army into 6 venerables. Luo He. The Dark Sky Venerable looked at Luo Feng and smiled. Your talent is indeed remarkable, but a mere avatar of yours is no threat to me. Send up all 5 of your avatars. The previous 4 God Kings of the Second Realm, the Dark Sky Venerable had not considered a threat. Even the Silver Moon God King, whose strength was on par with the Emperor of Tien Kuan, the Dark Sky Venerable ignored. All five together. 5 silver-clothed Luo Fengs looked at him, no need. One silver-clothed Luo Feng stood there, his silver robe rapidly spreading to transform into an endless silver river. This vast silver river swept across trillions of kilometers, enveloping heaven and earth, and trapped the Dark Sky Venerable. Annihilate. The silver-clothed Luo Feng stood amidst the vast river. The river trapped and corroded the Dark Sky Venerable. This corrosive power was clearly stronger than the previous chaotic whole undying light, causing the scale armor on the body of the Dark Sky Venerable to shatter and reveal the green flesh beneath. The flesh was being eroded. This corrosive power. The Dark Sky Venerable was a bit surprised. It has the essence of my path of destruction, possessing extensive destructiveness, and the matter forming this river is terrifying. Each portion of force is filled with endless vitality, constantly corroding and wearing away my physical body. The killing techniques Luo Feng employed at this phase included the Star Tower, will beyond God King level, 24-phase form world life, and Great Extinction style. The previous chaotic whole undying light belonged to a powerful move of the second realm of God King. Thus, employing the corrosive technique, with his physical body now truly displayed the terrifying aspect of his physical body. What? It can actually cause the Dark Sky Venerable light injuries. This Luo his river domain is so terrifyingly corrosive. Observers from all around the land of origin were shocked. This Dark Sky Venerable's technique realm is slightly inferior to mine. But its physical body is still superior to mine. Emperor Gui Shu watched the scene. Luo his brotherly domain's erosion caused the Dark Sky Venerable light injuries. If I were in his place, my injuries might even be more severe. What a terrifying domain. Wuxin God King also secretly marveled. Even someone with my movement technique prowess can only flee faced with such a vast domain. No matter how powerful one's movement or escape skills are, the domain is a large spanning cover. Anyone daring to fight Luo Feng at close range is bound to be eroded by the domain. This domain's prowess made everyone acknowledge Luo Feng's strength. Boom. The Dark Sky Venerable moved. Despite the hindrance of the endless river, his speed remained extraordinarily fast, breaking through all obstructions of the river, heading straight for that silver-clothed Luo Feng avatar. Destroy. As the Dark Sky Venerable charged forward, he also unleashed a punch. This punch affected the operational rules of heaven and earth, locking onto Luo Feng's avatar completely, unavoidable, with an endless horrifying force bearing down. Yet Luo Feng responded with a palm strike like a blade, slashing forward. This strike was like a great sun appearing between heaven and earth. This great sun collided directly with the punch. Blast tilde. The terrifying force from the collision swept across all directions, and even impacted towards the nearby Eta King's capital. Countless cultivators in the Eta King's capital were utterly terrified, feeling as though death was descending. Wu tilde. The galaxy shrouded all around, completely restraining the collateral force. The Dark Sky Venerable still stood in his original place after the punch. Only a few scales fractured on his fist. But Luo Feng was sent flying backward before he could stabilize, his right hand dripping with blood. My physical body is slightly inferior to his, and so is the realm of techniques. Luo Feng realized the gap between them upon clashing. This avatar was just 1% of the world life body's true body's energy reserve, still slightly inferior when compared to the Dark Sky Venerable. Boom. In the vast silver river, the Dark Sky Venerable charged and rushed towards Luo Feng relentlessly, as Luo Feng used him as a whetstone, repeatedly testing his own techniques. Luo Feng studied the deep secret patterns of the Star Tower, life, destruction, integration of life and death. He gained insights. Although not as perfect as the Great Extinction style, it was still quite formidable. Now he tested it in actual combat. The Dark Sky Venerable, deemed the darling of the path of destruction origin, continuously pressed Luo Feng hard with various techniques. The two fought for a moment, exchanging hundreds of moves. Even a mere avatar of Luo He, his physical body is only slightly weaker than mine. Dark Sky Venerable was secretly alarmed. Moreover, his vitality is even more terrifying than mine. Even after so much fighting, his divine power reserve hasn't diminished at all. Neither's energy reserves had been spent. This was the result of a terrifyingly powerful physical body. I can't always be helping the cold forest country lord guard his territory. This Sha kingdom will ultimately fall to Luo He. Dark Sky Venerable realized this fact. However, I can't let my destruction army lose its prestige. Dark Sky Venerable's eyes turned cold, and a long stick appeared in his hand. It was a God King ultimate realm weapon. For Qianmu Kingdom, it was difficult to procure a weapon beyond the God King level. However, weapons and secret treasures of the God King ultimate realm level were still accessible. Each of the 6 great venerables possessed one such suitable weapon of the ultimate realm. Rip! As soon as the stick in Dark Sky Venerable's hand swept out, it instantly tore open the heavens and the earth, creating a small, finger-wide fissure in the membrane wall of the source world. The fissure extended all the way to Luo Feng's avatar. Puff! Luo Feng's physical body was torn open with a huge wound. Ultimate Realm Technique. Luo Feng realized in the moment he was hit that Dark Sky Venerable's skill with his own techniques was slightly inferior, but with the aid of a God King ultimate realm weapon, he unleashed an even more horrifying power. His godly body takes this hit, and the energy expenditure seems negligible. Dark Sky Venerable was startled. This scene also alarmed many strong beings of the land of origin. Luo He, already powerful at the first realm of Godly King in terms of his physical body, has now reached the second realm. His physical body has become even more formidable. Emperor Di Yang was secretly alarmed. In the land of origin, there are few who can kill Luo He now. Emperor Qing, Emperor Ming might be able to completely eliminate Luo He. But I am no longer capable. Emperor Di Yang disliked this feeling, but the reality was right in front of him. Even a single avatar of Luo He was tremendously difficult to deal with. Completely destroying his many hidden avatars seemed nearly impossible. Good. Emperor Chu, however, was quite delighted. My disciple has exceptional talent. What he needs now is time. Given enough time to grow, I believe he might face the emperors directly in the future, Emperor Chu thought. His current disciple, besides being tough and resilient, was still naive in his techniques. He hadn't grasped a single ultimate realm secret technique nor possessed any powerful secret treasures. Yet, solely with such a formidable physical body, emperors and monarchs too must now take Luo He seriously. Dark Sky Venerable, I too have a weapon. Please give this a try. Luo Feng extended his hand, and the Blood Shadow Knife appeared in it. The Blood Shadow Knife, as a God King ultimate realm blade embryo with secret patterns needing Luo Feng's own inscription, was originally intended for Luo Feng to imprint primarily with patterns of destruction, since the path of life and death wasn't systematic yet. The path of destruction had guidance from a special grade inheritance. However, after observing the deeper secret patterns within the Star Tower, Luo Feng changed his mind. The secret patterns inside the Star Tower were systematic, and could perfectly complement each other. Luo Feng contemplated this. He began integrating the comprehensible secret patterns of life and destruction into the Blood Shadow Knife. The Blood Shadow Knife could be said to be a super-simplified version of the Star Tower, primarily based on patterns of life and destruction, complementing each other. Buzz. Luo Feng held the Blood Shadow Knife, its blade light terrifyingly formidable. Slash. The secret patterns in the blade, inscribed by himself, were naturally easy to invoke, allowing him to perfectly wield the fearsome might of the blood shadow knife. The blade reached Dark Sky Venerable in an instant, who disdainfully didn't dodge, and instead countered with a swing of his stick. The blade edge and the long stick collided. Boom! Dark Sky Venerable, astonished, felt the heaviness of the blow, even surpassing his stick technique. His stick technique contained many characteristics of the path of destruction, but Luo Feng's blade, its only character was heaviness. Extremely heavy. Dark Sky Venerable forcefully endured it with his strong body. Neither moved in mid-air. This strike, though, was equal in power. God King Ultimate Realm Weapon, and you can wield it. Dark Sky Venerable looked at Luo Feng, impressive. Harnessing a God King Ultimate Realm Weapon to perform its ultimate techniques was not easy, as it required understanding the mysteries of the weapon's secret treasures. My blade technique relies on heaviness to win, yet it couldn't make you, Dark Sky Venerable, step back. I am still considerably weaker. Luo Feng observed him. You've won. Dark Sky Venerable coldly glanced at Luo Feng, and this is just one of your avatars. Aware that he stood no chance against even an avatar, Dark Sky Venerable knew he had lost. Instantly, he stepped forward and traversed the void, returning to Qianmu Kingdom. At this moment, the various strong beings across the land of origin, who witnessed this battle finally realized just how terrifying Luo He God King really was. Even more daunting than Emperor Gui Shu, Wuxin God King. Perhaps only under the Wind City Empress, Mother River Master, and possibly comparable to Pu Xin, Time-Space Lonely Boats Boat Master, Yufu God King. As the Dark Sky Venerable left, only Luo Feng's 5 avatars remained in the skies above the Eta King's capital. No one is coming to contend anymore. Luo Feng's power of the world enveloped the entire territory of the Shi Kingdom, and he detected no other powerful beings infiltrating it. The power I displayed this time was just right, not posing a threat as overwhelming as the Earth God King, or the Mother River Master, yet the emperors and monarchs would need to weigh their options carefully if they want to confront me, Luo Feng thought. If Luo Feng had been a God King Ultimate Realm Will, controlling the 24 forms with his 5 avatars to burst forth such power would indeed have been his limit, and he certainly couldn't compete with emperors and monarchs. It's time to claim the entire territory of the Shi Kingdom. Luo Feng also knew that taking over and managing such a vast territory was no easy task. Fortunately, over the long years, the Blade River sect had nurtured a multitude of disciples. Now, it was time for these disciples to take charge of the expansive territories. Whoosh! Luo Feng's 5 avatars also vanished. Chu Capital. Marquis Chu Yu hosted a lavish banquet, with many marquises, guest elders, and godly king disciples from Emperor Chu's lineage in attendance. Brother Luo, he is my life and death brother, Marquis Chu Yu said from the head of the table, raising his wine cup. We both started from humble beginnings, back in Huyang City, when I was still an eternal true god. He too was an eternal true god. Later, we both came to Chu Capital, and the first guest elder I had was Brother Luo He. Marquis Chu Yu boasted. The surrounding marquises, guest elders, and godly king disciples lavished their praises as well. This is destiny. Luo He God King truly is remarkable. Initially, he was the unparalleled transcendent of the primal chaos realm, then he became the invincible first realm of godly king, and now even just one of his avatars is enough to rival one of the 6 leaders of the destruction army, the Dark Sky Venerable. Such natural talent is truly enviable. These beings from the primal chaos realm, whether they were marquises from the imperial clan, or guest elders, all envied him immensely. Perhaps some powerful god kings from the imperial clan could still maintain their pride before Luo Feng. But these imperial clan marquises had no pride left, only looking up to him in absolute respect. After all, Luo He God King was only a step away from the emperors and monarchs. Of course, This step was as formidable as a chasm in the heavens. Brother Luo, he is Brother Luo he, and I am me, sighed Marquis Chu Yu. I can't even grasp the branches of the great Tao, filled with endless confusion. Brother Chu Yu's time in cultivation is still short. We believe that you will definitely become a godly king in the future, the guests flattered. Now, amongst the many marquises of the 13 lines of the imperial clan, Marquis Chu Yu had a far-reaching reputation. After all, he had a good brother Luo he God King. So even ordinary god kings from the imperial clan dared not treat him lightly. The powerful god kings of the imperial clan had pride, but ordinary god kings, who had been trapped in the first realm of godly king for a long time, were not valued within the clan, receiving fewer resources. These ordinary god kings also thought about making connections with Luo he. God King, Emperor Chu Yu is currently entertaining guests. This time, one of Luo his avatars proved capable of rivaling one of the 6 leaders of the Destruction Army, the Dark Sky Venerable, and it has really brought Emperor Chu Yu quite a few benefits, the tall and thin elder spoke. Speaking of which, you also have connections with Luo he. You helped to secure a guest elder position for Luo he back then. God King Chu Ying smiled. At that time, giving Luo he a guest elder position was considered by Marquis Chu Ying to be the most astute decision. Luo Feng thereby owed God King Chu Ying a great favor. The stronger Luo Feng's power grew, the more valuable this favor became. With Brother Luo his rate of growth, he may reach even greater heights in the future, God King Chu Ying said, knowing his own limits. He had spent such a long time becoming a god king, and he knew the journey ahead would only get harder. Thus, he needed support. The rules within the imperial clan were strict, with each god king having a corresponding resource quota. As for the 13 emperors, apart from Emperor Qing, the other emperors all owed the imperial clan an immense debt of wealth. They simply couldn't help God King Chu Ying much. This favor should be kept for as long as possible, the longer the better. God King Chu Ying also had patience, naturally using the resources of the imperial clan to improve himself as much as possible. When there's no further progress to be made, completely stuck at a bottleneck, then seek external assistance. Asterisk 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 asterisk. In Liuyu City, within the king's palace. Liuyu God King, one of the 5 god kings of the Shi Kingdom who didn't flee, was feeling uneasy as she waited. Liuyu God King suddenly saw an invisible force converging, forming the figure of Luo Feng, who was calmly looking at her. Now, with the entire territory of the Shi Kingdom enveloped by the power of the world, Luo Feng naturally condensed an avatar in a thought. Liuyu pays respects to Luo he God King, Liuyu God King said with the utmost respect as she bowed. Kufeng God King has moved his kin and fled away. Yet you stayed here and didn't leave, Luo Feng looked at her. Liuyu God King said helplessly, my kin have been thriving for countless years, rooted deeply in this land, and moving them is too difficult. That was why we joined the Shi Kingdom in the first place, and now I hope that Luo he God King will take us in. I am willing to serve Luo he God King. Luo Feng understood well. Liuyu God King's kin, with their long and storied history, were comparable to the Jin state of his teacher, the mountain-sitting guest, with a vast kin spread across numerous large cities, and even many wilderness tribes. If one's heart is hard enough, she thought, one could simply migrate the elite of the tribe away. But the Liuyu God King cared deeply about the entire tribe. Whether it was the original decision to join the Eta King's capital, or now to serve Luo Feng, it was all for the sake of the tribe. All right, but your fiefdom only consists of 5 primal chaos prefectures, Luo Feng looked at her. With numerous avatars and the power of the world that could envelop the entire territory in a thought, whether he had a godly king under his command was not important to Luo Feng. The Liuyu God King was slightly startled, and respectfully replied, yes, I am willing to reduce my fiefdom to 5 primal chaos prefectures, but I hope that countless creatures within the original Liu country can be spared from large-scale captures. I'm not the emperor of Tian Kuan who needs to consume countless creatures, Luo Feng said as he looked at her. In all the territories under my command, large-scale captures of countless creatures are prohibited. Cultivators, normal battles and slaughters, even clan annihilations among some wilderness tribes, Luo Feng would not mind. But systematic capturing of countless creatures, as food like the emperor of Tian Kuan did, was strictly forbidden by Luo Feng. The Luo He God King is merciful, the Liu God King rejoiced. You will work with Yuan, Luo Sa, and Xinyu to take charge of receiving the entire Eta King's capital territory. Luo Feng waved his hand, and 20 names appeared in front of him. These 20 primal chaos realm cultivators, if they are willing, can continue to govern their original fiefdoms. All other primal chaos realm cultivators must be expelled. Luo Feng had reviewed the primal chaos realm cultivators from the Eta King's capital, and deemed that only 20 were worth recruiting. As for the others who had long followed the 3 kings of the Eta King's capital, their styles were similar. Luo Feng knew they were just following orders, but still did not bother to take them in. Yes, the Liu God King respectfully took the order. Receiving the entire Eta King's capital territory involved many aspects. The handover of various cities, various assets, some places that nurtured heaven and earth's treasures, numerous mines in the wilderness, some artifact refining, alchemy, and other industry chains. The handover was complicated. The entire reception task was primarily handled by Yuan and Morosa, with assistance from the second disciple Xinyu and the Liu God King. The Blade River sect's many disciples were responsible for specific duties. At the same time, Luo Feng's power of the world enveloped the entire territory, aiding in the completion of the reception. Because the power of the world enwrapped everything, none of the actions of all the powers, large or small, within the territory, could escape Luo Feng's notice. At first, there were some greedy individuals who wanted to take a great amount of treasures and resources away, but after Luo Feng severely punished them, destroying 3 primal chaos realm cultivators, everyone promptly became much more docile. Of course, Luo Feng only destroyed the primal chaos realm true bodies and took all their treasures, expelling them from the territory, without completely annihilating them. However, this punishment still frightened all the various powers within the territory, and also made the subsequent reception go much smoother. Master, the reception is essentially completed, but there have been quite a few losses during the handover process, Morosa respectfully reported. Losses? Luo Feng looked at him. Those primal chaos realm cultivators were expelled, and they took their families and subordinates with them, Morosa reported. Their families were previously in charge of many industries, and suddenly without so many leaders, a lot of businesses could no longer operate. These losses were unavoidable. Luo Feng nodded. Many of the elites from previous cities were direct subordinates, or even family members of the primal chaos realm cultivators. Their expulsion indeed had a significant impact. The impact is temporary, Luo Feng said. After the reception tasks are handled properly, discuss with Yuan and prepare for the next large-scale recruitment of disciples by Blade River sect. This time, the scale should be at least 10 times that of the past. Such a large scale. Morosa's eyes lit up. With countless citizens across the 135 primal chaos prefectures of the Eta King's capital territory, who have suffered for long years, this large-scale recruitment of disciples can be considered a great opportunity for cultivators, Luo Feng explained. Morosa nodded. As master and servant were talking, they suddenly turned their heads toward the direction of the Blade River sect's base. Has Qingyang broken through? Morosa showed a look of surprise. He actually broke through, faster than I anticipated, Luo Feng also smiled. In the quiet room of Moyu Qingyan's cave mansion within Blade River sect, Moyu Qingyang had always longed for a breakthrough. He had followed Luo Feng from the very beginning in the land of origin, receiving careful guidance from Morosa, and later, advice from Yuan. As Luo Feng's status rose higher and higher, as his only direct disciple, the resources he received were the best. Even Morosa secretly shared some resources that he managed to obtain with Moyu Qingyang. Junior brother Xin Yu has broken through and become a primal chaos realm cultivator. Master has also taken in a group of registered disciples, many of whose talents are above mine. As the eldest senior disciple of Blade River Sect, the pressure on Moyu Qingyang was naturally enormous. The only thing he could do was to be even more diligent. Consulting with Yuan, consulting with Second Master Luo Sa, and even thickening his skin to consult with Master Luo He. Master rarely gave guidance, but every time he did, Moyu Qingyang would study every word said by the Master, ponder it 100, 1,000 times over. Me? Moyu Qingyang felt the transformation of his bloodline within him, though he did not yet fully understand, he could already control the primal chaos laws. I've broken through, my bloodline has transformed. Moyu Qingyang's eyes brimmed with tears of excitement. Finally, he had broken through. As the second one under his master's guidance to become Primal Chaos Realm. Although he was only a Primal Chaos Realm cultivator through the bloodline path. This video will end here.